And again, that's going to be the kind of the flow from here for those of you who are like, all right, what's happening next? Well, after this, we're going to have 3 matches, all best of 5s, 2 semifinals, and a final to close things out. So, moments away from getting into this next best of 3. I think our players are ready. Here we go. We got, once again, JB going up against Yikes in this best of 3 to find out who's going to play against the dudes. And again, Laz, Wismont, and Tusk going up against Chicago, Zol, and Turtle. See what happens here. On paper, Gibbs, what do you think? Do you have any bold predictions?
So on paper, you have to
players?
go with Yikes. You have to go with Yikes because they added Turtle. They played well last week versus FlyQuest. And Wiz, Tuster, and Laz, they've been around the block before. They're definitely really good players, but we saw Fibian last season with probably a weaker third. They went 7-0 throughout the rival series, so you expect them to do better this time around because they added Turtle to the squad. And also Tuster was there as well. I believe Wiz was also in the rival series. So you would expect Yikes to win. I expect 2-0, but you never know. That's why they played the games right there where you saw almost a goal with Zol. A great save to start us off.
Yeah, lots of pressure from JB there, but Yikes able to hold things off on that orange side, and that's a good amount of pressure. That's the kind of pressure you want when you're a minute down in the game. Getting those good chances, super nice. Obviously, you want to convert those chances into goals, but as we've seen in Rocket League, especially these close tournament matches, if you can just keep that pressure on, keep that going on your opponent's half, inevitably one is going to go in. So we'll see what happens here. There we see a demo on the orange side. So a nice job there from JB. Another demo. JB being super aggressive here against Yikes on that orange side, and they're keeping that ball over there. Zol going up to the sky, trying to hit that away, but Wismont is there, sending it back to the middle. Zol able to get a piece of that over to Turtle, passing it over to the middle, but Tusk there on defense, passing it over to Wismont. That's going straight for the goal, going to drop down from above. He's going to get another touch on that, but it looks like it is going to be pushed away there by Turtle on the left-hand side. So a little bit back and forth still, as neither of these teams able to find a scoring opportunity. Very close on both sides, some good shot opportunities, but some even better defense for both sides.
So I just want to make a quick correction for the JB roster. Last time it was Tuster and Wiz. They were on Incognito for the rival series, and they came in last place, 1-6. And they picked up Laz from Kinematics, who finished in 5th place at 2-5. So they're trying to improve that team right there, but both of them are not in the rival series no longer. Trying to make a run this time. Chicago, great shot there. Tuster, 2 great touches, but Turtle is right there to read it off Tuster. Great play by him to challenge this play, and great pass to start it off. But Tuster right there, just barely getting a nudge on it, but Turtle, great read. And that kind of confused Laz, who had to try and challenge that as well, but very difficult when the ball is barely moving between 2 players to read it. And there we go, Turtle, the new member on this squad, coming out big early on.
Yeah, Yikes on the board first here. We're about halfway through this first game of this best of 3. And now it's up to Team JB to kind of bring it back. I don't even know do you know what does JB stand for? Why did they pick that name? Do you know, Gibbs?
I don't know. I don't know.
We got to figure that out.
Yeah, like knowing them, it's probably like jailbait or something, but I'm not sure.
Jamming binoculars.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Give us your best guess in the chat, and you might get a pop socket. Oh yeah,
juice box
that could be too. Well, let's figure it out. But they've got some work to do, because right now, Yikes, they're playing some good Rocket League. Chicago, there's some good defense, preventing that ball from going into the back of the net. Zol going to tap that as well over the left-hand side. Chicago going to send that all the way over to the blue side. Laz on defense going to try to go up and get it, but Chicago a little bit too fast to dunk that towards that blue goal. But the defense is sound there from Wiz, and now we're going back and forth once again. Turtle able to get a handle of it. Chicago getting it from the middle, just a little bit off on that shot over the left-hand side. I think he wants that one back. Zol going to try to send it back to the middle. Yikes trying to keep that pressure up. Even though they're up 1-0, they're not going to stop there. They're going to keep that pressure up and try to add to this lead. As we see Turtle over the left-hand side, popping it off the backboard. Chicago in a great spot, going up incredibly quickly, hitting it off the backboard again. Zol trying to continue to play. Turtle now in a great position to send that toward the goal, and he's going to make it in. That's an awesome play there from Yikes. Every single member of the team involved with that goal, and Yikes is up 2-0 on JB in this best of 3.
So Turtle with the chip shot to pass to himself, basically, to get it around Tuster. He had a chance for a power shot, but Tuster was there to try and block it, so instead he chips it to himself. Great read there, and that's what you expect from Turtle. He's a very smart player. Like, I wouldn't call him the best player on the field with mechanics, but it doesn't matter here. Zol, off the kickoff, just dribbles it right into the opposing team, but somehow powers us through. Wiz, I believe it was, Jay Wiz just kind of reading it maybe a little like incorrectly, but Zol, great play there to read it off Jay Wiz. And there we go, 3-0, and that's now 2 challenges right in front of the net that Yikes have won to get this huge 3-goal lead.
Yeah, you got to keep going for it, and that's exactly what Zol is doing, just muscling against that defense and able to push it back 2 of those JB defenders. And now it's certainly a pretty big hole for Team JB to work with. Yikes up 3-0, only a minute left. And let's see what happens here. Yikes back in control. Zol sending up to the backboard, test on defense, hitting it over to the left-hand side, but Chicago is there, trying to keep this on that blue half, and he's going to try to pass it back, but not the best play as Laz able to hit it off of that backboard. Jay-Wiz trying to follow that up, and it looks like Tust might have had an option at that, but he was rotating back, so not able to convert that into a scoring opportunity. Jay-Wiz sending it over to... actually, that was Laz sending it over to Jay-Wiz, but not able to convert that goal. Only 30 seconds left, 3 goals to catch up, and trying to get one there. Okay. All right, that's step 1. Laz able to float that through. It looks like Tust sending that on over to him, and he's going to just usher it in from the right-hand side. Pretty simple goal. Zol just barely missing that, but 24 seconds. Can they figure out this deficit here, Gibbs?
It's possible, because that last 30 seconds from Yikes was not great at all. It was very awkward play after awkward play, and it finally bites them in the butt. And they score, and Tust right here, another chance, but Chicago gets up for the save, and Turtle follows through as well. And now it's all about wasting time right there. Great clear from Chicago. That'll probably seal the deal here. Turtle playing it slow once again, just getting it by people and wasting time. That's all he has to do. And right here, that's going to be the end of this game. There's no way they score 2 goals at this point. And there we go. Yikes. A 3-1 win with 2 of those being dunks right in front of the net. So this game could have definitely went a different way. And looks like they want a new server. So we're going to take a second to try and get a new one for these guys. And maybe that was the cause of 2 of those dunks. It could have been some weird server pain issues. But you have to play on at some point, and one team was playing better on that ping than the other.
Yeah, and that team was Yikes. Again, it's kind of weird because we're seeing a lot of really strange names, although very familiar players. So you kind of have to kind of recall the teams that these players used to be on, because there's a lot of roster changes that are happening. And honestly, a lot of these rosters are still being tested. We don't necessarily know kind of the finalized rosters going into RLRS, RLCS. So don't necessarily, I guess, think that these are going to be the finalized rosters that we're going to see these guys play the whole year. I think that's part of the point of some of these teams. They're trying to figure out, how they're going to play. In the Ting Open, I'm happy to be able to provide that opportunity for teams to really test out what they're working on and what kind of rosters they think might work well for them. But for now, Yikes, again, a roster involving Chicago, Turtle, and Zolhe, taking game 1 there against Team JB, again, which is Jay-Wiz, Lazulik, and Tuster. So we're about to roll into game number 2 here. Want to remind everyone, if you're enjoying the stream, feel free to hit that follow button. We got Ting Open qualifiers happening all month long, and then of course the finals February 3rd and February 4th. If you're just now tuning in, thanks for hanging out, having a ton of fun here on twitch.tv/Axeltoss. I'm Axeltoss, joined by Gibbs. Finally get to commentate some Rocket League because they never let us in RLCS, but we're like, what? That's unacceptable, man. We want to be in these games talking about them.
Exactly, and I think we showed our age a bit before Axel with JB. Like, everyone in chat is saying it's for Justin Bieber. It's very possible. But
how is that obvious?
Well, like, I think if you were a young kid or a youngin right now, you might say Justin Bieber for JB. But Chicago, he opens up the scoring right away. And Yikes.
Juice box? I don't know.
I said juice box, man.
Is that
but
what
Turtle,
you said? I'm going with that.
A great pass there to Chicago. And Tuster tried to go for the challenge, but there was no way.
Jelly
Chicago
Bean?
Much closer. Yeah, Jelly Bean's good.
Jelly
Johnny
Bean?
Bravo is probably
Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, but again,
we're going to go with that one. All right, we have Johnny Bravo. Johnny Bravo going up against Yikes here in this best of 3. In all seriousness, Chicago Turtles, that was a great play to start things off, and that's exactly what they want. Picking it off hot after that first game win. Ooh, Turtle would have loved to have that one back right in front of the goal there, but not able to get any momentum, not able to get any connection onto that ball to try to usher that into the goal. So they're going to have to go back to the drawing board on that one, but they have a 1-0 advantage here over JB. We'll see if they can extend that. Applying a lot of pressure for now, keeping that ball on that blue side. Jay-Wiz trying to push that back the other way, and that's actually a great double touch. So Jay-Wiz able to float it up and finish it on through, getting it over pretty much every single player of that defense there from Yikes. Equalizing the score 1-1 with 4 minutes to go.
So it's a great play by Jay-Wiz to get it over Turtle, but keep the ball close enough so he can make another touch before Zol actually gets the challenge. And I was about to say with Yikes, they were winning every single challenge for the first 45 seconds, but Jay-Wiz coming out twice in a row with 2 great plays by himself to keep this Johnny Bravo team really close in this match, and we still have plenty to play.
All right, let's see what happens here. Both these teams kind of, getting their feet under them, and I like saying it where you talk about competitive ladder. It's best of ones, right? You win, you lose, and it's done. Tournament play, best of 3s. It's a great opportunity for these teams to really figure themselves out, figure out their opponents, and then it's not necessarily all set in stone after that first game. So maybe we're seeing that a little bit as we see another goal here from Yikes. But are we seeing JB, kind of get used a little bit to the play style of Yikes? That's what they need to do as the best of 3 goes along to try to bring it back. But for now, 2-1 advantage here for Yikes. Another nice goal from them. You never know when those fancy goals are going to come out of them. And Chicago coming off the ceiling, going to try to get another fancy goal. Going to hit that forward, but it's going a little bit wide of that goal. Turtle is going to try to keep this on the Blues side and make a chance happen, but Jay-Wiz with some nice defense, going to stay on it, passing over to Laz. He's going to pass it over to the middle. Chicago there on defense, and Tuss actually getting a great shot from way above. Zol going to receive it on the defensive side. Chicago playing the sweeper position, passing even more forward, but there we see Laz on the other side, pushing it back to that orange side, trying to pass to the middle, but barely missing that, and Turtle on defense over to the corner. And for now, looks like Yikes going to hold that 2-1 advantage, and JB just looking for those windows for those scoring opportunities.
And so far, we're starting to see some better challenges come out of them, and that all started with Jay Wismont, but Tuster right there beating out Chicago. Now Laz beating out Turtle. Slowly but surely, they're starting to win these challenges to kind of set up a shot opportunity, but they haven't got the shot yet. They had one closed by Tuster right here with the demo. Jay Wiz should be able to clean it up. Stealing the goal, but great play there to slow it down. With Laz bumping in Chicago first, then Tuster taking out the other defender. A full team play with 2 different bumps there. So sometimes that's what it takes against these really good defenses now in Rocket League. You have to go at these goalies, and 2 bumps finally shows that the net is wide open, and JB now tied it up. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left.
Yeah, and
there's another.
A goal out of nowhere. That's 2 goals in about 20 seconds here from Team JB. And that's Laz going up to the right-hand side, just popping it off the wall there and taking everyone off guard, following that through. I think that's one of those fun passing plays that I've been able to pull off a few times, if I may say so myself, where you can just pop it off the wall, hit it back to yourself. Any indoor soccer fans out there, that's definitely a viable strategy where you use the walls to your advantage to give yourself a pass, and that's exactly what we saw there from Laz. And now we see JB with the 3-2 advantage in a game that they absolutely must win, or they're going to be out of this tournament.
So that was a great pass and play with Turtle going for the bump. The problem was, Chicago passed it to Zol, but then he blocked Zol's shot. Zol's shot wasn't that great to begin with, but still, just getting it in each other's ways just a little bit. But Yikes right now has to figure out their 3rd rotation. They keep trying to challenge way too early, and they're leaving wide open nets for JB, and that's why JB has this lead here, 3-2. But it's still anyone's game. It's only a 1-goal lead. It's a very high-scoring game, and we still got a minute 40 to play. Right here, a great pass and play from Zol to Chicago, and a great placement. He shoots it for the near post where the goalies cannot reach it. Beautiful play. And this is what you expect out of Chicago, the best player on this team.
Yeah, the Chicago effect. You got to look out for those very quick goals, right place, right time. And Zol with just great awareness, knowing where Chicago was, passing over the left-hand side. It can be easy to just try to hit that towards the goal. But Zol, great awareness, knowing that Chicago is on that left-hand side, not hitting it towards the goal, hitting it to the left, knowing Chicago is there, and Chicago, just a great job, able to finish that through. And not only finishing it through, but doing it very quickly. It's very important. You want to hit those shots as fast as you can. Not only be accurate, but get in the air as fast as you can to finish that through so the defense doesn't have a chance to react. So we stand at 3-3, even in this game number 2, a must-win game for Team JB, and they might realize that. Jay Wiz coming across the field there and scoring a nice one. That was Laz just popping it up a little bit more, getting another touch on it, and Jay Wiz coming off the right-hand side to finish that through. I think Laz might have been able to score that, but that's exactly what they want. That 1-goal advantage with a minute left. The question is, can they hold on to that lead?
But once again, their Yikes kind of send in the house, and then only Zol was back, and here we go again. Wide open net, but JB just barely misses it. But Tuster got a great demo there on Zol for that goal. And when you only have one back and he's going backwards, very hard to avoid those demolitions. Yikes has to be a little bit careful. They're trying to send a little bit too much when it was a tie game. Now they're going to have to start sending because they're down a goal. But JB is capitalizing on all of these mistakes from Yikes so far.
Yeah, and I love how they're just really able to extend the play every single time. When you think the ball might be drifting towards the other half, there's someone from JB able to extend the play a little bit longer, able to tap it forward just a little bit further to try to give themselves a scoring opportunity. So love what I'm seeing out of JB as they try to bring this back. 30 seconds left to hold on to this 1-goal lead, but that's a very hard thing to do against this Yikes team led by Chicago. Again, Turtle and Soul there as well makes this
Another
a very
bump.
formidable team, but just like that, JB getting in the face of Yikes. That's a bump from Tuss onto Zol, leaving a wide open net there for Laz. I mean, Turtle might have had a chance to save that, but Laz able to shoot that a little bit too quick, and now we have a 2-goal advantage for JB with 15 seconds left.
But the problem there, Turtle plus Chicago, they both jumped for that first touch from Tuster, and that's why Turtle couldn't catch back up to the ball because he had to land and then come back out for it. So well done by JB, but there's a lot of mistakes happening right now for Yikes that are expected to win this series. And once again, another bump by Laz. Seems like that is their game plan to disrupt this Yikes team. They probably think, hey, they're more of a team or a more talented team. So if we start going for these bumps and make this game a little bit more awkward, we can get the win. And that's exactly what JB's doing right now. They get 11 shots in that game to 8. So they outplayed Yikes for sure in game number 2. And we're going to a deciding game 3. And let's not forget that it's these two teams. Whoever wins this will play the Dudes. Yep. Whoever wins that is going to the grand finals. So we will have a lesser known team pretty much go into the grand finals. Maybe like you won't say that about Yikes as much, but right now Yikes is against match point. It's game 3. It's all or nothing for both of these teams. So very important game here. And again, it's for $50 at least, but they really want that grand final spot, which is top 2.
Yeah, and that's really the important the most important element here in these qualifiers. There is money there, but that's not as significant as just getting top 2 to be able to qualify for those grand finals and really play for the big money. And that was kind of the idea behind this tournament format. Spreading some money out throughout the course of the month just so people have something to play for, but really emphasizing how important it is to get top 2 in each of these qualifiers so you can qualify for that grand final and play with the top 8 teams, which is going to end up being 4 teams from Europe, or if Europe server, I mean, a North American team might make it through there, and then 4 teams from the North American server. So that's what makes this really fun. The open format, you never know what teams are going to rise up and really challenge. And I love the storyline behind the Dudes, where we saw them do so well in the DreamHack qualifiers, and just like that, they're waiting for the winner of this result for their next match. And honestly, these guys, some new rosters that we're not necessarily used to. I think Chicago and Turtle, more or less, probably going to be the most mainstay players across these 2 rosters. But for me, it's really cool to see what kind of rosters actually these players are coming up with to try to challenge, honestly, the best Rocket League players in the world.
And a quick bracket update from the top 8.
What do we got?
FlyQuest, the old Ambition squad with Wonder, Prime Thunder, and AJ, they will take down the Ducks, which is Hollywood Hammers, which is Memory, Halcyon, and Vince. Wow. They take them down 2-1 to move on to the Final 4. And this just in as well, G2, they take out Splice 2-1. Once again, Splice keeps it really close versus G2. We saw that game last week where Splice, they barely missed a goal. Like the ball bounced off the crossbar from Sathu and hit the goal line at 0 seconds to tie game number 2. So they did lose 2-0 last time, but they got even closer this time versus G2, a 2-1 victory for G2. So one semifinal is set. That's G2 Esports versus FlyQuest. And now we're just waiting on this game number 3. I believe Turtle is resetting his router, so that's why it's taken a little while. But whoever wins this will play the Dudes in the other semifinal.
So we're getting down to it, guys. That's pretty awesome. G2 versus FlyQuest is going to be one of our semifinals. One of those teams is going to be advancing to the grand final, and that's going to be coming up very soon on the stream. But we got to finish out this side of the bracket. And I really feel for Splice. It feels like they're coming so close. It feels like they have a lot of things going really well for them. Like they're playing some really good Rocket League, and it sounds like they took G2 to the wire. So it's cool for me to see them playing so well, but I'm a little bit bummed because they're just not able to just make that next step to really push them that little bit distance further to make it a little bit deeper in these tournaments to make those grand finals. But who knows? Maybe we'll see Splice sign up for the European qualifiers and try to make a run on those European servers. Obviously, Might be a little laggy, but I still think it's possible for them. And ultimately, still pretty cool to see Splice playing as well as they are, honestly.
Yeah, like it's a big confidence boost to keep G2 that close.
Yeah.
Going into probably soon an RLCS season where they'll try and make it to the rival series. So they definitely have to have confidence because they're going deep into these brackets and then usually losing to a team that's in the RLCS already, but keeping them close. So like if they keep that up, they should make the rival series pretty handily.
All right, here we go. It's time for game 3. This is it. Both these teams are tied 1-1, and only one team can move on. Single elimination. Ting Open Qualifier number 2, and we have 5 teams left in the tournament. The Dudes is waiting on the result of this match to find out who they're going to play. And honestly, incredibly back and forth. Both of these two teams have some incredibly strong elements. So I'm not sure who my favorite is, but I think before this series, we're kind of like, all right, Yikes is a little bit, better known, so it should be them. But we're seeing some awesome Rocket League played by JB. So here we go. 30 seconds down and a goal to start things off here from Turtle. Waiting in the middle there for that pass, I believe, from...
It's from Zol.
Zol able to pass it over to the middle there. Great awareness there. And Turtle with a nicely placed shot to that top side of the goal to put Yikes up 1-0.
So when the other team is finishing their rotation and coming back to the net, they usually go right on that goal line. So like if you can get that pass right out to the middle, right to that 18-yard box line, then you get a really quality shot. But Tuster, he also missed just barely a double tap within the first 10 seconds of this game, and Chicago made an incredible save. So Yikes on both sides of the field playing extremely well throughout this first minute of play.
Yeah, and I do think a lot of it has to do with Chicago. When you talk about Chicago, he's got a fair amount of live event experience, actually, teaming up with Hato, right, in the NBC Universal tournament. It was 2v2. Also a very young player, so a lot of room to really, get better, really improve, and really, I think, the mentality side of Rocket League is very important. It's something you have to really develop and get a good hold about. And that's important to have, on your side, a really good mentality coming into these very important single elimination matches. So we'll see if they can keep that up. Yikes with a 1-0 advantage. Again, 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. If they can win this, they're moving on to the next round of play against Dudes. And there's another goal from Turtle coming from the sky. Where did he come from? What an angle. And he actually passed that to himself up to the side of the wall and then just finishing that through. What a goal from Turtle.
And one of the things I worried about with Turtle was he was a sub for G2 last season. And normally when you're a sub, you're not really playing competitive Rocket League all that much. He was obviously doing his YouTube thing and all that. Yep. But I'm really surprised at how well he has come back into this Rocket League competitive scene, because I had worries that, hey, when you take a full season off, that's like almost 6 months. You might not be able to come back as quickly, but he is playing extremely well for this squad of Yikes, who's probably going to have an org very, very soon. And that could be a lot because of Turtle. When you play like this once again, they just score where JB just kind of leaves the net wide open. They just get beat on every challenge. We see Tuster, he lost the challenge, then Blaz just completely whiffs. And when you completely whiff and you're the third man, it's never going to end well.
Yeah, and honestly, it's a really fun team to watch. Chicago's always going to be such a quick player, and I think more or less it's up to Zol and Turtle to really find Chicago, or maybe the other way around. And it's fun seeing these dynamics kind of play out. In watching this team, they weren't able to really make too much happen in the last Ting Open Qualifier, but look at this. They're up 3-0, 3 minutes left. Still a little bit of time left, but they're looking pretty good in this game number 3. So we'll see what happens. Tusk, though, he's like, all right, we're not giving up that easily. And he's going to be in the right place at the right time there. Jay Wiz, it was all him, able to hit that to the backboard. Chicago with a little bit of mishit there on defense. Tusk, though, waiting in the middle in that sweeping position. Going to carry it on through. He's going to shorten that lead. It's now 3-1 in favor of Yikes. So still a fair amount of time to work with here for JB to try to bring us back.
That threat from Jay Wiz for the double tap, that's why we saw the entire team kind of rush onto the defensive side, and Chicago just a poor touch because he had to get there so late. Tuster there, though, that's what you want from a third man, to be able to clean those up, and he does just exactly that. And now it's only a 2-goal game, and once again, this is a very important time where whoever scores next, it's very big on either side. Right here we see Zol try and go for another shot, and once again, right around that 18-yard box or the 6-yard box, right in between, left extremely wide open. Turtle sees it and just goes for the pass because Jay Wiz, he was on the rotation back. He was still backwards in net. And Zol, a great placement, just keeping it high so it's not an easy save. And there we go. Yikes. 3-goal lead is so much more important than a 2-goal lead, and they get it back.
Still a lot of time left, though, and we'll see if JB can bring it back. They have to figure something out here, but it looks like Yikes is they're just playing so fast right now. Every single player of Yikes was involved with that last goal, and that's exactly what you want. It just adds a feel-good element there where you're like, you know what, we're actually working really well as a team right now. Let's just keep it up. So the odds are definitely stacked against Team JB right now, but there is still time to bring it back. Let's see if they can make this happen. For now, looks like Laz coming off left-hand side. J-Wiz right there in the middle, waiting for that pass. Laz going to go back up and try to hit this back towards the goal, but Zol is there on defense. Tusk trying to be in a good position to hit that back towards the goal, and J-Wiz taking the pass towards the goal, but Chicago is there to send it back the other way. That was an excellent chance there for JB to get a goal and close down the gap a little bit, but the defense too good just like that, though. JB, they are not giving up, taking it back the other way, and that was Tusk passing on over to Laz and sneaking it in the left-hand side of the goal.
So JB, they were so close, but Chicago made a great save, and I thought, oh, then that's it. But right away, Tuster brings it back, throwing it over Zol right to Laz. Laz had to get that tap because Turtle was coming in. And JB, they're still alive, just down 2 goals with 1:30 left. Yep. And we've seen a lot of goals throughout this series, so it's definitely possible.
And you got to imagine what are these guys thinking? How much pressure? It's a very important game. It's effectively a best of 1 at this point. The winner moves on in the tournament. The loser will be out of the tournament of this game. So everything on the line here for both of these two teams. Let's see who can hold it together. But for now, Yikes is up 4-2 with a minute remaining. Something has to happen here from JB. Laz trying to do it, sending it over to the backboard, but there's some good defense from Chicago. Lust is there to take to prevent that from going to the blue side. Going to try to push it back towards the middle. And J-Wiz floating it all over to Tusk, but Chicago is there to send it back the other way. J-Wiz on defense, popping it up. Turtle trying to be there. And it looks like a very even challenge in the sky. But now going to the blue side, Tusk on defense, trying to push it back the other way. Laz going to do a back pass, but that's actually going to Chicago, heading it toward the goal. J-Wiz launching it over to the other side. Zol leaping up across midfield to prevent that from going too far. And now we have a bit of a back and forth situation here, which is not good for JB. They need to make something happen. They got to have some scoring opportunities here because they only have 20 seconds left to score 2 goals.
And that shot from Chicago, when he threw it directly down right into the goalie, I did not like that shot because right now it's all about wasting time, and he allowed JB to get a great clear, but we're down to the final 10 seconds, and Turtle, he just beats out Tuster on that play, and now it's just challenge after challenge after challenge, and that is going to do it. Yikes is going to move on with the 4-2 victory. It was a little sketchy there in game number 2, but they bounce right back, and they will move on to the semifinals to play the Dudes for a spot in the grand finals on February 3rd and 4th.
Look at that. Yikes. A great team on paper, and they're able to back up what they represent on paper, getting a nice victory there over JB, but not without a little bit of sweating here and there because JB, they kept it close even in the last game. We thought that Yikes was pulling away with it. JB able to bring it back a little bit, but not quite enough. And I think that showed a lot of maturity, a lot of experience there from this Yikes roster. They've been in this position before where when you're up by 1, when you're up by 2, you don't do anything too crazy. You try to do whatever you can to just buy time and stay comfortable. And that's exactly what happened. So we're going to keep it going here from the Ting Open Qualifier number 2. We're going to take a short break. But when we come back, it's time for the semifinals. It's best of 5s from here on out. We have 4 teams left in the tournament. It is Yikes, the Dudes. They're going to be playing in a best of 5. And then we have G2 and FlyQuest also coming up on the stream. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Tell your friends. It's time to move into the semifinals for the Ting Open Qualifier number 2. We'll be right back.